Here is a super reliable way to resolve conflict. This will improve your communication with almost anybody, whether you like them or hate them. So if they're coming to you with a grievance or conflict, you are going to listen to them. And then you're going to say, I hear X, Y, and Z. And you will say back to them in a neutral way what they said to you. I'm hearing that I hurt your feelings when I said that. Now you're going to validate what they experience and what they feel. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings when I did that. It sounds like you had a really hard time. Then you can explain what you experienced and what you felt. And you can also say what you meant by what you did. I felt really anxious in that moment, and I did not mean to hurt your feelings, and that just slipped out of my mouth. This comes from chapter 4 of this book, Polywise, but it's also very similar to nonviolent communication. As a rule, never assume what the other person feels or what they perceive, and only speak from your own experience, not what the other person experienced. Always attempt to assume best intentions, even if you think that person was out to get you. And even if you have zero empathy for the situation and you think it's over something stupid and the other person is overreacting, you can still validate their feelings. Nobody gets to decide what that other person felt. And in the process of validating their feelings, you're encouraging them to validate your feelings. Also, if you think the other person is in a bad mood or in a bad way, you can still speak from personal experience. Instead of saying, you're probably saying this because you're in a bad mood, you can say, when I'm in a bad mood, sometimes I do X, Y, and Z. I don't know if that was happening for you or not. And that way they can choose to opt into that or not. They can say, oh yes, that was going on for me. Or they can say, no, well, that only happens to you. That doesn't happen to me. Now, if someone is doing something that you need to have conflict with them about, it's good to start with some facts. I'm noticing X, Y, and Z. My roommate had to come to me about a puzzle this week. I do a puzzle and I just leave it out on the table. They said, I'm noticing that you haven't been working on your puzzle lately. Can you pick up your puzzle when you're not working on it? You always want to state facts and not emotions first, and not whatever story you've derived from those emotions that you're having about the thing that's irritating you. So a bad way to approach the puzzle would be, I'm really irritated that you leave your puzzle out all the time. Or even worse would be a story, you know you irritate me with your puzzle and you still decide to leave it out. It's really good to bring up conflicts when they are teeny tiny and then have a basis for talking about them. If your partner makes noise, bring it up every time they make noise that bothers you. And that way you can say, hey, remember last week when you were making this noise and it was bothering me? I'm noticing you're making that noise again. And I wonder if you could do what we talked about, which is use your headphones instead.